Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to take part in this forum. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Boglárka Fekete, and I'm working in the field of vocational education and training with a special focus on innovation, digital transformation, and European cooperation. Today, I would like to explore how artificial intelligence and emerging technologies are reshaping VET system across Europe, not only as tools, but as drivers of structural change. We are at a turning point. The European Union is moving through a profound digital transition, reinforced by parallel green commitments. Labor markets are transforming rapidly. New professions are emerging. Traditional roles are evolving, and employers are increasingly demanding digital, technical, and transversal skills. In this context, the VET, the vocational education and training, carries a unique responsibility, unlike general education, that is directly connected to labor market needs, sector-specific skills, and practical competence development. AI and emerging technologies offer opportunities not only to modernize pedagogy, but to ensure that VET system remain relevant, future-proof, inclusive, and responsive to industry needs. Today, I will present the EU strategic and regulatory landscape shaping the integration of AI in education, the concrete ways AI and emerging technologies how to transfer to that system, the importance of building teachers and institutions' digital competencies, also the most important part, the ethical and regulatory safeguards required under EU law, and how this development align with Europe's broader vision toward a future-ready workforce. Let's begin with the European policy foundations. The European Skills Agenda sets out the EU's long-term vision for skills development. One of its core priorities is equipping citizens with the digital skills needed for the digital transition. This is directly connected to AI because the agenda highlights the need for advanced digital skills in emerging sectors, support for SMEs adopting new technologies, and large-scale skills partnerships under the Pact for Skills. The skills agenda actively encourages VET institutions to innovate, adapt digital tools, and modernize curricula. It also provides funding access through Erasmus+, ESF+, the Digital Europe program, for developing digital competence, infrastructure, and updated methodologies. The Digital Education Action Plan, often referred to as the Digital Education Action Plan, is the EU's main strategic framework guiding digital transformation in education system. It has two major pillars. The first one is developing a highly effective digital education ecosystem. This includes infrastructure, connectivity, teacher training, institutional digital strategies, and digital learning platforms. The second one is enhancing digital competencies for the digital transformation. These explicitly includes AI literacy, computational thinking, data literacy, and awareness of AI ethics. For that, the Digital Education Action Plan's relevance is threefold. It pushes institutions to develop digital strategies, not just by devices. It promotes high-quality digital pedagogy, meaning AI should be used educationally, not just technically. It positions digital and AI skills as essential competencies for all citizens, including vocational learners. The AI Act is the world's first comprehensive AI regulation adopted in 2024. It categorizes AI system by risks and applies strict obligations to high-risk areas, including education, because AI systems influencing learners' evaluation, progression, or opportunities can strongly affect their lives. For vet providers, this has major implications. AI must be transparent. Learners and teachers should know when AI is used. AI must include human oversight. Teachers cannot delegate responsibility to algorithms. Datasets must be high quality and bias-free, especially in assessment tools. Institutions must conduct risk assessments when adopting AI-based systems. This regulation will fundamentally influence how vet institutions adopt digital tools. Why the skill agenda and the digital education action plan give the vision, the DigCamp and the DigCamp Edu give the practical framework. DigCamp 2.2 defines more than 250 examples of digital competencies for citizens, including AI, understanding data management, and online safety. The DigCamp Edu defines the digital competencies educators need to design, implement, and evaluate digital pedagogies. For vet professionals, these frameworks ensure that digital and AI competence building is systematic, that technology use is pedagogically grounded, not random, and that institutions can measure progress using self-assessment tools like Selfie. The Osnabrück Declaration sets the European framework for vet modernization. One of its 4 priorities is digitalization of vet systems, including infrastructure, digital tools, and teacher competencies. It also calls for agile vet curricula, stronger cooperation with companies, and vet innovation ecosystems. AI and emerging technologies directly support these goals while enabling workplace relevant training. And the last one is the European education area envisions digital transformation as a cornerstone of quality and inclusion. It supports member states with cooperation platforms, innovation hubs, research networks, cross-border experimentation projects. AI-driven vet innovation often emerges from these cross-national initiatives, especially Erasmus Plus projects. This EU-level ecosystem provides both the permission and the obligation to integrate AI and emerging technologies in vet. Now, let's see how this actually transforms teaching and learning. In vocational education and training, learner groups are typically very heterogeneous. Students differ in prior work experience, levels of foundational literacy, numeracy, and digital skills, learning speed, and preferred learning styles, and also has different sector-specific exposure, like prior experience in mechanical work, healthcare, or agriculture. Traditional teaching models, often designed for homogeneous groups, struggle to meet these diverse needs. AI-powered personalized learning offers a structural solution to this challenge. AI system can create dynamic, individualized learning pathways, continuously adapting the structure and content of the learning process. Learners who progress quickly through theoretical modules can move into practice-oriented content earlier. Learners who need more foundational work receive targeted preparatory materials, and these pathways can integrate prior learning, micro-credentials, or informal skills, supporting lifelong learning approaches promoted in EU policies. Adaptive systems analyze how learners respond to tasks and adjust difficulty automatically. In a technical wet like CNC robotics, tasks can escalate from simple parameter settings to complex multi-step procedures. In service-oriented VET like hospitality, retail, role-play scenarios can become progressively more complex. AI-driven learning analytics enable instructors to monitor performance in real time. Dashboards show skill mastery, error patterns. Predictive analytics can identify learners at risk of disengagement or dropout. This represents a major improvement over traditional assessment cycles, which often detect problems too late. Once challenges are identified, AI can recommend remedial training paths, micro-learning activities focusing on specific skills, practice simulations tailored to repeated errors, additional teacher or tutor support, or differentiated tasks for learners with special education needs. AI-powered personalized learning directly supports the EU strategic directions by enhancing learning equity, a key priority under the European Skills Agenda, improving digital pedagogy, as highlighted in the Digital Education Action Plan, preparing learners for digitalized labor markets, aligning with Union of Skills and the European education area, supporting competence-based VET system modernization as promoted in the Osnabrück Declaration. In other words, personalized AI systems are not just technological innovations, they are mechanisms for achieving EU-wide education and labor market goals. Simulations are especially important in VET because much of VET learning involves psychical, technical, and manual competencies. Thanks to VR and AR, VET institutions can now train learners safely in hazardous environments like firefighting, operating heavy machinery, reduce material costs, increase opportunities for practice, repeatable scenarios, for example, provide experiences that would otherwise be impossible or too expensive. In health, engineering, automotive, agriculture, and hospitality, simulations are revolutionizing how students practice skills. These align with the Digital Europe program and the EU industry strategies promoting Industry 4.0 and digital twins. AI supports both formative and summative assessment. For instance, computer vision can analyze wedding quality or hairdressing movements. NLP-based tools can evaluate communication skills. AI tutors can provide immediate feedback on practical tasks. These tools give learners more feedback than teachers alone can provide. However, and this is key under the AI Act, any AI that influences certification must be transparent, reliable, and supervised by humans. Increasingly, workplaces use smart, connected equipment, machines with sensors, robotics, IoT dashboards. If that institutions stay analog while workplaces go digital, learners face a skill mismatch. Embedding smart devices into training environments ensures realistic work simulations, up-to-date training aligned with employer needs, digital readiness for Industry 4 and 5.0 roles. Even basic IoT sensors in an agricultural vet program can teach real-world skills like monitoring soil, livestock, or energy systems. We all know about generative AI. Generative AI provides enormous support to educators, especially in multilingual or resource-constrained settings. It can generate customized case studies or role-play scenarios, translate technical content into multiple languages, draft initial version of learning materials, support inclusion by providing simplified or adapted content. The EU emphasized ethical and transparent use. Teacher must review and validate AI-generated content. These technological opportunities bring us to the next critical question: are vet teachers ready? No matter how advanced the technology is, successful integration depends on teachers. Teachers must be able to understand how AI tools work, select appropriate methods, integrate them into pedagogy, ensure data protection and ethical use, and support learners' digital competencies. The EU recognizes this. That's why DigComp Edu and Selfie for Teachers were created. DigComp Edu provides a comprehensive and structured framework consisting of 6 areas and 22 competencies that describe what educators need in order to teach effectively in a digital age. For vet teachers in particular, this framework is extremely relevant because it connects digital pedagogy with workplace-relevant teaching practices. Let me walk you through the structure shown on the diagram. The image visualizes the 6 interlinked competence areas of DigComp Edu. They are arranged in a symmetric structure showing how teachers' professional competencies, pedagogic competencies, and learners' digital competencies all interconnect. The first section is the orange section, the professional engagement. This area highlights teachers' ability to use digital tools for collaboration, professional growth, and communication, not only with colleagues, but also with companies, social partners, and vet stakeholders. The second section is the green section, the digital resources. This area concerns teachers' capacity to select, create, adapt, and manage digital learning resources. The blue section is teaching and learning. The central area reflects the teacher's ability to implement digital pedagogy effectively. It includes orchestrating technology-supported learning processes, designed blended or virtual learning pathways. So this is the pedagogic core of DCOMP Edu and directly links to the modern VET training practices. The Turkish section is the assessment. This area focuses on the meaningful use of the digital tools to track learner progress, analyze performance, conduct digital and practical assessments, and use AI-supported analytics to identify strengths and weaknesses. The purple section is empowering learners. This area emphasizes inclusiveness and accessibility. Digital tools can support personalized learning pathways, differentiation for varying ability levels, accessibility for learners with special education needs, learner autonomy, and motivation. For VET sector, empowering learners means helping them build confidence in using digital and technical tools they will encounter in workplaces. And the red section is facilitating learners' digital competence. This area highlights a critical responsibility. Teachers must help learners build their own digital competencies. In VET, this includes teaching safe and responsible use of workplace technologies, supporting learners in developing transversal digital skills, like data handling, digital communication, preparing them for increasingly digitalized labor markets. So the diagram visually demonstrates that the left side emphasizes the teacher professional competencies, the center focuses on pedagogical competencies for teaching digitally, and the right side represents how these competencies ultimately contribute to learners' digital readiness. Institution, even the most motivated and digitally competent teachers cannot drive meaningful digital innovation alone. Digital transformation in VET requires strong institutional capacity, strategic planning, and system-level support. This includes robust digital infrastructure, connectivity devices, secure platforms, institutional digital strategies aligned with the Digital Education Action Plan also, leadership that drives and sustains innovation, clear policies for data protection, GDPR compliance, and cybersecurity, strategic partnership with companies, training centers, and also technology providers. To support institutions in assessing and improving their digital maturity, the European Commission has developed SELFIE, the self-reflection on effective learning by fostering innovation through educational technology. This is a free, evidence-based tool used across Europe and beyond. The image visualizes that the scale and the global reach of the SELFIE platform, demonstrating how widely it is used to guide digital transformation in education. You can see that more than 44,000 schools from 88 different countries use SELFIE. So this is not a pilot or experimental tool. It is being used extensively across a wide range of educational contexts, including VET institutions. The infographic reinforces a key message. Digital transformation is not an isolated effort. It is supported by structured, scalable, international recognized tools. Ethics is not an additional topic. It is a core requirement. European guidelines emphasize human-centeredness, transparency, accountability, non-discrimination, inclusion, privacy, and security. In that, where practical skills often influence employability, these principles are particularly important. Under the AI Act, most AI systems used in education fall under high risk if they influence learners' evaluation or opportunities. This means that institutions must ensure data quality and representativeness, maintain documentation and logs, provide human oversight, ensure robustness and accuracy, identify and mitigate risk. This is not optional, it is legally required. ECHOVAT, the European Quality Assurance Framework for VET, offers a systematic cyclical structure to help VET institutions continuously monitor, evaluate, and improve the quality of their training provision. As we integrate AI and emerging technologies into vocational education, it is essential that these tools are embedded within the same quality assurance cycle, not treated as its own or isolated pilots. The infographic on the slide illustrates the 4 stages of the ECHOVAT quality assurance cycle, and we can use it as a guide to understand how AI should be integrated responsibly and strategically. Learners must understand how AI tools work, their benefits and limitations, risks related to privacy bias or misinformation, and how to evaluate outputs critically. This is now considered a basic competence essential for employability. The integration of AI and emerging technologies is not only about pedagogy, it is a strategic contribution to Europe's competitiveness and sustainability. VET institutions play a key role by preparing the workforce for digital and green jobs, supporting SMEs in adopting digital solutions, contributing to innovation ecosystems, promoting social inclusion through accessible digital learning. This diagram represents the European Skills Index developed by CDFOP, which provides a comprehensive framework to measure how effectively European countries develop, activate, and utilize skills in their labor markets. It integrates multiple dimensions of education, training, employment, and skills matching. The index is structured into 3 main pillars, each consisting of several sub-dimensions and indicators. The red section is skills development. This pillar measures how well countries equip individuals with skills through formal education and training systems. This pillar reflects the overall quality and inclusiveness of education systems. Countries with strong early education, solid upper secondary outcomes, and active adult learning tend to show higher scores. The presence of digital skills and VAT participation signals readiness for modern labor markets. The orange section is skills activation. This pillar assesses how effectively countries transition people into employment and ensure that they participate in the labor market. Skills activation measures whether people are moving from education into work and staying active in the labor force. High youth transition and high activity rates indicate successful integration into employment system. High numbers of early leavers weaken activation performance. And the last section is the blue section, namely skills matching. This pillar evaluates how well available skills are aligned with job requirements in the economy. Skills matching reflects the efficiency of labor markets, low unemployment, fewer workers in low wages relative to qualifications, and fewer mismatches signal well-functioning systems where people's skills meet employer needs. High mismatch reduce competitiveness and productivity. When viewed through the index framework, it becomes clear why AI enhanced VAT emerging technologies matter. The first one is strengthening skills development. AI tools, simulations, and personalized learning can improve learning outcomes, digital skills, and VAT relevance, directly boosting the skills development pillar. AI, for the second one, is improving skills activation. AI supporting career guidance, early warning system for dropouts, and digital apprenticeships help learners transition faster and more effectively into jobs. And the third one is enhancing skills matching, better labor market intelligence, AI-driven forecasting, and data-based curriculum design ensure that programs align with employer needs, reducing skills mismatch. So the framework underscores that modernization and AI integration are not optional, but essential for strengthening Europe's ability to develop, activate, and match skills effectively in a changing labor market. To conclude, the integration of AI and emerging technologies into VAT is no longer futuristic. It is happening now. And the EU provides a strong regulatory and strategic foundation for it. The challenge is turning this potential into quality, ethical, inclusive practice. And this requires collaboration between educators, policymakers, companies, and learners also. So thank you for your attention. The time is over, but you can see my email address. And if you have any questions or comments, or you would like to get my presentation, write me an email and I will answer. Have a great remaining part of the day, and thank you very much.
Thank you for interesting speech. Czy mają Państwo jakieś pytania do naszej gościni?
Do you have any questions? Thank you, by the way, for a very interesting speech. Yes, we have one question.
Good morning, and thank you for this interesting presentation. My name is Konrad Romaniuk. I represent Polish National Eurogans Guidance and Europass Center. Thanks a lot. This was interesting input, and before you were present with us here, I was making a little bit of introduction in the beginning of the day 2 of our conference, saying that this is going to be your presentation, as well as the rest of the day, will be a little bit of reconciliation of the 4th forum we had about a year ago, when we were talking a lot about technology, machine learning, AI, of course in the learning and labor market context as we do in usual. And if there would be a chance to ask you for a little bit of a reflection, what actually has gone forward in terms of learning and education using AI and technology features, as far as you know, including European AI Act and other significant things mentioned just before in this year, especially in a perspective of next month that, in my opinion, it's going to be operaized further. But I'm really curious about your point of view about this matter. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Yes. So, what about the feedbacks? I am also the teacher in vocational education and training, and we also use these tools in our institution. But to integrate AI into the VET system, I think in Hungary also we are in the starting point that there are so many AI tools that we should integrate in the VET system. But we, firstly, that I can say that what are the feedback that learners can do more. So learners are most motivated to use AI than teachers. That can be said. So we have a lot of European Union's tools and recommendations, but firstly we have to push through into the teacher's way. That I mentioned that the teachers are crucial to integrate their into their subject teaching methods. Also, the institution has to integrate these AI tools. And I was in a conference in last days, and I heard about really good examples from other teachers that how can we use effectively the AI tools with the students. They mentioned some really good examples. So I don't know how. So I am not the researcher, just the teacher who integrate also in my subjects the AI, like Canva. We have some robots also, and we can use it in our teaching institution. But the market is rapidly grow, so we should keep step with the market, the labor market needs. So teachers has a really crucial roles in this.
Thanks a lot. Any disagreements from the room? Please, let's quarrel. Let's discuss. We have the special time just for that.
Thank you.
No? Okay. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the day and thank you for being with us today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.